Hello and welcome to the $20,000 Modern Invitational here at Apex Gaming. I'm Todd Tandy Anderson, joined by Ross Miriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
We have round number 5 coming up for you. Ross, give us a live look in at what we're going to be watching in round 5.
Well, 7 rounds of Swiss means that round number 5, we can start penciling people in
Mm-hmm.
to the top 8. If they get to 5-0, can potentially double draw in the last 2 rounds. And that's what we're showing. We've got a bunch of matches of players who are 4-0 trying to get to that 5th win. And interestingly, we've got a very cool deck. Brandon Lex going to start with playing Soultrader Combo.
Yeah, Warren Soultrader, very powerful card. We'll get that on screen for you in just a second while we're talking about it. But this 3 mana 3/3 allows you to sacrifice creatures at will to generate treasure tokens. And then as long as you can recoup that 1 life that it costs to sacrifice the card, boy, that's infinity.
Yeah, so the main combo here is with Gravecrawler, since Warren Soultrader is a zombie for Gravecrawler purposes. That allows you to trigger Blood Artist over and over again, and the Blood Artist gives you the life back to keep activating Soultrader. But there's a bunch of other combos in this deck. There's Soul Cauldron to reinforce it, and then Birthing Ritual as the main card to tutor through your deck. And then a little bit of interaction in Grist the Hunger Tide and Flare of Malice. So going to have a little bit of creature removal to buy time against his opponent, which is Michael Kowalczyk on Boros Energy.
Yeah, and the Boros Energy deck, we know all about it. Very little from Kowalczyk's build that stands out as being, techie. Maybe some stuff for this mirror we'll go over when we get to sideboarding. But the players are situated and ready in the feature match area, so let's head on down for round number 5. On your left is going to be Brandon Lex in the middle there, and on the right is going to be Michael Kowalczyk. We haven't seen too much Warren Soultrader. We saw a little bit from one of the Abadis, I think, but
Yeah, Lex, the only person playing that card in this tournament.
okay. Turn 1, Verdant Catacombs, and no play. We're going to pass it back. Kowalczyk going to go ahead and quickly fetch, and we'll see what he wants to deploy on turn number 1. Grabs Sacred Foundry.
As far as Kowalczyk's list goes, nothing surprising here. Has 3 Ragavans, 3 Flage, a couple Bombardment.
Yeah, the One Ring incorporation a few months back really changed how the deck played. It brought Ragavan back into the picture. The real flex slots at this point are the second and third Ragavan, the third and fourth rings, and the Blood Moons of like 3 and 4 or whatever.
How you want to use the last couple slots where you want to emphasize the role player cards.
Okay, we're gonna go fetch. I believe that's the Golgari Surveil Land. What's that one?
That one is
Don't see that one
Underground
as much.
Mortuary.
Underground Mortuary. Probably the one that I've seen the least. I'm trying to think of one that I don't remember seeing much. Anyway, Mortuary is gonna go Surveilling. Even the Golgari decks are playing it. This one can put a thing into the graveyard for I got the Soul Cauldron as well.
Yeah, you get a little bit of value. Just mills over a land.
Okay, turn number 2, Brandon Lex.
That was a Birthing Ritual drawn. Not a great play here with no creatures, so Lex will likely prioritize getting some creatures on the battlefield and then follow up next turn with the Ritual.
All right, land number 2 for Lex. I believe this is a Bloodghast, and we'll pass turn. Let's get Bloodghast on the screen. This is an old card that Ross and I both love. We played it a bit in Dredge decks, and here Brandon Lex uses it as sort of like a value sacrifice creature. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, can come back from the graveyard, and it has haste as long as your opponent is 10 or less life, but it can't block, so it's not infinitely annoying.
Yeah, it is very good with Birthing Ritual, though, so likely trying to set that up, but Static Prison, an excellent answer to the Bloodghast, so that's not coming back.
I was expecting a Flare of Malice there, which would have been nice.
Follows it up with an Ocelot Pride, so an excellent start for Kowalczyk. Gonna be able to get in with this Guide of Souls. Probably won't pay the 3 energy since he only has 3 total. We'll want to leave some energy around for the prison, but he's gonna get a token on his end step from the Pride. That brings him to 6 permanents, so could get to the City's Blessing as early as next turn.
Yep, so more life here for Kowalczyk, more energy, up to 4. We're going to pass it back.
Yeah. So I suppose it could have paid for the Guide of Souls then, because the cat represented another energy.
Maybe miss out on a little damage there, but can certainly do it next turn. We'll see if Brandon Lex can rebuild. Bloodghast down. A couple Birthing Rituals in hand look a little puny. I don't see a third land.
Yeah.
Although maybe that's a boggart trawler. Yeah, it is. Okay.
This has been a rather slow draw for Brandon Lex. No one drop, have to hardcast a Bloodghast on turn 2. You'd rather mill the Bloodghast with something like Malevolent Rumble or Stitcher Supplier and get those back for free. So he's going to have to do some work trying to catch up and execute his combo before these creatures take him out.
Okay. Gonna take 3 damage from the boggart trawler. Gonna play
Boggart Bog.
boggart bog. Here's Orange Soultrader, and now Brandon Lex says, "Hey, please don't kill this. Please don't kill this. If you don't kill this, maybe I can win next turn."
Yeah, and I think Brandon does have a backup Soultrader, so he's not overly concerned if this dies.
It's about time though. Taken away for a turn means one more attack.
Yeah. So an Arena of Glory is the land for Gavalchik, and I think he has a Flage in hand, so that at the very least will deal with Soultrader. Set opts to Static Prison it. Probably
Okay.
wants to extend to the battlefield a little more, apply more pressure, and get to the City's Blessing. Yeah, there it is. The Ajani represents the 9th and 10th permanents.
Okay.
City's Blessing online.
Unfortunately, couldn't give it haste. It was only 1 damage to give it haste, but we're going to make a 2/1 cat to go along with that 1/1 cat. Now we're going to swang in here, and I imagine we're going to do some jumping with the Guide of Souls to do some extra damage. We're going to put 2 counters on the Ocelot Pride, and we're going to gain 3 life.
So this is an attack for 5. Lex will fall to 10.
And I believe we have the City's Blessing right now. So end of turn, Ocelot Pride is going to make a 1/1, and then we're going to copy the 2/1 cat token that was made as well.
Yeah, so that'll be 3 more tokens entering on the end step, which represents 3 more life and 3 more energy. And this game should be over next turn if Lex doesn't have a significant response.
Yeah, their deck doesn't have sweepers. There's nothing to clear out all of these tokens. Ocelot Pride running wild. And it'll be up to Lex to just combo kill.
Yeah.
Just combo kill or bust.
This is 12 power on the battlefield, not accounting for the Guide of Souls payment next turn.
And that doesn't also account for something like Goblin Bombardment or
Yeah.
whatever that can be drawn from Kowalczyk. And even Flage damage might be enough too.
Flage damage, the Arena of Glory could haste a creature. There's a lot of other potential sources. Looks like he has another Static Prison in hand too, so I think Lex is going to have to assemble the combo fully on this turn, and I'm not sure the deck is capable of doing that.
Okay, packs it in. Game 1 goes to Kowalczyk, and our Soultrader combo, once again, falling prey on camera. I haven't seen it win a game. I just want to see it win a game. Do the thing.
On the draw, didn't have any interaction, didn't have a very fast start, just got run over. Gonna
Yeah.
need to be a little bit more judicious in his mulliganing for the post-board games is Brandon.
All right, speaking of post-board games, these players are going to be reaching for their sideboard for some help. Brandon Lex on that Soultrader combo deck did lose game number 1. What does he have access to that can help out in this Boros Energy matchup?
He's got some good cards. His sideboard is 1 Abrupt Decay, 1 Damping Sphere, 1 Dothy Voidwalker, 1 Flare of Malice supplementing 2 in the main, 2 Fulminator Mage, 2 Haywire Might, 3 Orcish Bowmasters, 1 Plague Engineer, 2 Thoughtseize, and 1 Toxic Deluge. So the most interesting things here are the removal spells. Toxic Deluge is excellent. Plague Engineer on Cat is excellent. Abrupt Decay is excellent. And the Orcish Bowmasters are excellent. So all of that going to be coming in for Brandon Lex and allow him to play more of a fair game. He's not going to be dependent on having a very fast combo.
All right, on the other side of the table, Boros Energy, probably not that used to going up against Warren Soultrader, but is there anything specific you think could be a heavy hitter out of the board?
So Kowalczyk's sideboard is 1 Jegantha the Wellspring as a companion, 1 Blood Moon supplementing 2 in the main, 1 Chain to the Rocks, 1 Exercise, 1 Fear Fire Foes, 1 Ghost Vacuum, 2 Orm's Chant, 1 Surgical Extraction, 1 Thraben Charm, 2 Untimely Malfunction, and 3 White Orchid Phantom. The main thing I'm looking at here is exile-based removal. So Chain to the Rocks is nice at dealing with Bloodghast and Gravecrawlers. Exercise doesn't hit many of the creatures, but it can hit Birthing Ritual.
Right.
So that's definitely a consideration.
Being sorcery and so few targets for the 4 or greater maybe takes it off the table, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it.
There's also Soul Cauldron in this deck, so you get Cauldron and the Birthing Ritual.
Cool. Yeah, Exercise honestly has really impressed me in terms of like not only how often I've seen it so far, but how useful it's been in the games I've seen it. The Exile comes up, enchantment or artifact comes up, and exiling a big creature comes up. All valuable, all relevant.
Yeah, and then I would be looking at the Graveyard Hate. Ghost Vacuum is going to be good. Surgical Extraction, Thraben Charm, those should all be coming in as well. The one maybe for me is Fear Fire Foes.
Yeah, I mean that one can be a one-sided blowout, but normally that's to like remove the ability to block by taking out a bunch of 1/1 chumpers or whatever. In the mirror match, it's quite good at cleaning things up. Against this deck, it's kind of like a fireball your creature, and maybe you can tag something, but it's often going to be something that can just come back.
Yeah, it's not a card that's actually going to generate you a lot of value, ironically, in this matchup,
Hmm.
but it can generate you a lot of tempo, clearing away a battlefield of Orc Army tokens, Grist tokens, Stitcher's suppliers, and things like that. Bloodgas and Gravecrawlers as well could be important for just closing the game. So that's why it's a consideration, but certainly not something that I would automatically look to bring in.
All right, as these players are shuffling up here and getting ready for game number 2, I'd like to take this time to say thank you to one of our sponsors for this weekend's festivities here at ApexCon. Thank you so much to Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. Wings Etc. is a family-friendly restaurant with sports on TV. You can go up there and get you some cauliflower wings like Ross and I did last night. Thank you so much to Ghost Energy for keeping us hydrated and energized on these long tournament weekends. SpyTrack.gg is our partner in tournament software. Check out SpyTrack.gg if you'd like to find a tournament near you or run a tournament yourself. And last but definitely not least, thank you to Ultimate Guard, the industry leader when it comes to TCG supplies. Check your local game store for Ultimate Guard products today, like Katana sleeves and the Archive deck box. Players here shuffling up, about ready for game 2. Gonna look at their opening 7s and see if they want to take them all.
Lex here going to be on the play. Will be looking for a significantly faster hand than he had in game 1. Turn 1 Stitcher Supplier is the ideal. You can mill over your Gravecrawlers and Bloodgas and start setting up your combo that way. If you mill over a Bloodghast, turn 2 Birthing Ritual after landfalling the Bloodghast onto the battlefield is an excellent start. See a Malevolent Rumble, that would be a fine follow-up as well.
I did see a Blood Moon peeking out of Kowalczyk's hand. I wonder if he thinks that's going to just steal a game. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it does seem pretty good against all the dual lands and specialty lands like the Spymaster's Vault.
Spymaster's Vault and Phyrexian Tower.
Yeah, and even the dual face creatures or the dual face lands come in their mountains as well. So Lex here going to take a mulligan, but it looks like Kowalczyk is going to keep Soultrader doing the thing, looking for a more explosive start.
Yeah, and it's perfectly fine for him to mulligan. The combo can undo a lot of mulligans. Winning the game undoes your mulligan very easily.
I take it back. Kowalczyk going to throw it back as well. So both players going to go down to 6 cards here. Low resource game. Let's say they both go to 5. Who's advantage, do you think?
The player on the draw, usually. Advantage when players are mulliganing. And I would say the player that has the 1 ring.
Okay.
The ultimate mulligan undoer.
Are you a mulligan enjoyer or a mulligan hater? So, for example, let me just clarify. Seth Manfield never mulligans.
Yeah, he's a
Mulligan hater. What are you?
I am a mulligan enjoyer. I mulligan, I think, more than the average player.
I keep so many one-land hands. You have no idea. Like, if I'd stopped keeping one-land hands forever, I think my win rate in Magic would just skyrocket. But it looks on the draw, 1 land, 2 Soulscar Mage, and a Shock. I'm keeping, man. What do you want from me?
Sounds fine.
Yeah.
There's the Ghost Vacuum in Kowalczyk's second hand, so has that bit of sideboard tech. See a couple lands, Static Prison, Ocelot Pride. This hand looks great.
I agree. Brandon
on
Lex
Lex's side, looks like his hand is fine. He has 2 Birthing Rituals, so one of them likely the Tuck. I see some lands and some creatures.
All right. I don't know about you, but I have yet to see Birthing Ritual look great.
We'll see what it looks like this game. Still no 1-drop.
Yeah, and that means turn 2 Birthing Ritual not going to get off the ground. Kowalczyk going to go quickly fetching with Arid Mesa. Let's see what land he wants to grab and which of the 1-drops he has to deploy. Ocelot Pride alone could generate some pressure. There's no Ragavan because it is basic plains. Here's the cats. Let's get Ocelot Pride on screen. We've seen this one a lot today, but it's not one we've talked about too much in terms of what it really does. So 1/1, first strike lifelink. At the end of your turn, if you've gained life, you can make a 1/1 cat, and then if you have the city's blessing, you get to make a copy of all the tokens that came into play this turn on your side, and it has a send, so you can get the city's blessing if you have 10 permanents. For 1 mana, I don't know if I've ever seen a stronger creature. And maybe this is just like bias or whatever. If Orcish Bowmasters didn't exist, Ocelot Pride might be the best one-drop creature ever made. Maybe not. People are going to say Deathrite Shaman, Rogavan, whatever, but it's in the conversation. I don't know, man. This card is wild.
It is very, very good. Looks like a Blood Artist going to the graveyard off the Underground Mortuary Surveil.
Land number 2 for Brandon Lex. See what we want to deploy here. And, well,
Marionette Apprentice.
yeah, this 2-drop from Modern Horizons has Fabricate 1. You can use it to make a token and 2 pieces of defense set up here. We'll see what he can do. I'm going to go back Kovalchuk's way. All right, what are some cards we can pair with this Marionette Apprentice to do some dirty next turn?
So, I mean, if Kowalczyk doesn't interact at all, Lex could have land 3, Soultrader, sack the artifact servo token for a black, play Gravecrawler, and combo.
Yeah, that's just a kill.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Apprentice doesn't gain you life to keep the loop going perpetually, but it triggers off your artifacts going to the graveyard as well. So each iteration through the loop makes a treasure, and then you sack the treasure to recast the Gravecrawler. So your opponent will lose 2 life, you'll only lose 1. So as long as they don't have more than twice as much life as you do, it's a kill.
All right, Ocelot Pride gets in, and we have a Ghost Vacuum to join the party. So, Graveyard Shenanigans turned off. Let's get Ghost Vacuum on the screen. This is a newer one from Duskmourn, reminiscent of the, I don't know, the ghost suckers from Ghostbusters. I don't know, remember what they were called, but the ones that shot the lasers out and pulled them into the canister. This Ghost Vacuum, pretty sweet.
Yeah, very, very nice piece of graveyard hate, and one that is quite common in Urza's Saga decks, but Kowalczyk opting for it just out of Boros energy.
Yeah, the front side of exile target card from a graveyard versus the 6-mana thing, the front side is going to come up more often than the other one. But, you know, we haven't seen too much of this printed lately, this type of targeted, repeatable graveyard interaction. Even Relic of Progenitus, the thing that was seeing play for so long, was your opponent's choice.
Yeah, and when you're boarding this card in to deal with things like Flage or unearthed Oculuses, you want to be able to target immediately.
Okay, we'll see what Brandon Lex can do. He's facing down some serious pressure and disruption. Here's a Birthing Ritual, so we can sack that servo token and go get a 1-drop creature. All right, end of turn trigger.
He does get to look at the top 7 and see if there's a 1-drop before deciding to sack the servo too. So, no risk here.
Yeah, if we don't have it, we don't have it, and the servo stays. What 1-mana creatures can he find? Is it just the Stitcher Supplier, Gravecrawler?
Yeah, just those 2. He's got 3 Crawler, 4 Supplier, so 7 total.
Okay. Don't see one in there, so I think we're just going to be done. Pass the turn back. Once again, Birthing Ritual failing to impress me.
Just another slow start. Didn't have a 1-drop. Played a creature on turn 2. It got answered for 1 mana. And then the Birthing Ritual isn't doing a lot on turn 3. So once again, Lex has fallen behind in this game. Fortunately for him, he's not under as much pressure.
All right. Back to Kovalchuk. We have Ocelot Pride owning. Just getting in there. Doing things the hard way. Normally pair with Guide of Souls, you're able to gain life. Doesn't even need to attack. You can play it on your turn, gain a life, and make a token. Really powerful. But as a 1-drop, beaten in there with some removal backup, it's accruing a lot of advantage for very little investment.
Yeah, Lex isn't under a ton of pressure right now, but that will change in the next 1 to 2 turns because of the power of Ocelot Pride. So Windswept Heath finds another basic plains for Kovalchuk. I know I've seen an Amped Raptor in hand, so that could easily be the play here. Try to work towards the City's Blessing or find a removal spell for the servo.
Okay. Static Prison.
That'll answer the Birthing Ritual. And once again, Lex, no 1-drop, plays a bunch of 2-drops, and Kovalchuk answers all the 2-drops for 1 mana. Now the Amped Raptor. I've wanted to do this. Well, I wanted to do the prison first to get more energy.
Right.
This looks a little awkward if he hits exactly another static prison.
Whoa.
Okay.
Here's Blood Moon. I don't think Lex has a way to cast a spell next turn. Needs to draw basic swamp off the top. How many does he have in his deck?
Is 2
Two. Two swamps.
and a forest.
Now we did spend 3 energy, and so if we are unable or unwilling, I guess, to pay an energy next turn, the Birthing Ritual will come back. But I believe we have 1 energy floating.
Yeah, 2 from the Amped Raptor, 2 from the Static Prison. Should have left Kowalczyk with 1 after paying for the moon. And is this the city's blessing as well? Yep, it is.
Okay, so back to Brendan Lex. Blood Moons. No creatures, no birthing ritual. Says, you know what? You got it, buddy. You got it. And Michael Kowalczyk moving to 5-0 and very likely our first player into the top 8 of our $20,000 Modern Invitational. Congratulations to them. 2 rounds left of Swiss to go. Five wins under his belt. That's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, strong run for Kowalczyk through this tournament. Takes out a deck he likely wasn't prepared for and does it with ease.